There's a chill in the air, the bugs aren't so bad, fall is upon us, and a lot of people are feeling the same way. And yes, I'm talking about the great lock-in. But to be completely honest, I never really felt like that lock-in that everyone's talking about. I've always felt like this shift in energy where life feels worth the living. I feel more empowered and somehow more motivated to go after my goals, and I think that has to do with like the end of the year, yes, but also as a Floridian, it's getting cooler outside, which means I can go outside with more ease, which means like I just feel like I could do more things. I'm not limited to the air conditioning, which maybe means I need to move out of Florida, but that's another discussion. And so, to join my fellow online friends and strangers alike, I'm also participating in the Great Lock-In. And this is how I'm gonna do it. Yes, I have it on notes. Everyone should use more notes because analog is back, baby. You know, once Big Brother and playing that big company with P word, they're on their way to get their grimy little fingers over everything. And the one thing that they can't get their grimy hands on, physical media, baby! At this moment, I'm sure they're gonna find a way, but I'll be off the earth by then. Anyways, I'm gonna share with you guys some of the things that I'm doing in order to fully lock in that really are off your phone centric and just stop BSing yourself centric, because we got one life and we're only getting older, so let's act like it. One thing I think will benefit us all is just to get really serious about how much we're on our phone. And I'm not saying like check your phone time or whatever. Yeah, you should already know that. But for the rest of this year, I'm really going to limit how often I check my phone. Because it's not like getting on my phone that's a problem, it's like mindlessly scrolling, which sounds so bizarre that I'm admitting that, because I've always hated when other people are on their phone, but now that my job or a way I make money is online, I'm on it way more and I just justify it for all these reasons. But when I step outside of myself and I see the reality that I just check my phone whenever I feel like it, I'm showing no restraint, that could definitely be improved upon. So I'm still discovering how to make this sustainable, because if I quit cold turkey, I'm gonna snap back very easily. But one thing that I am trying out is like when I have a strong urge, not a need, an urge or want to check my phone, I'm gonna wait like 10 minutes and let that rush just like flow through me. And then when 10 minutes goes by, do I still wanna check my phone? Yeah, okay. Or can I go another 10 minutes without giving into that? And listen, I'm the worst when I post something. I just want to see if like so-and-so engaged with it, or if it's getting so many XYZ shares, likes, comments, views, whatever. I'm gonna have a goal with myself that I am only going to check once an hour on my posts. I do not need to be checking it just whenever I feel like it, which is all the time. Number two, and something that I realized I just have to schedule in, and it's downtime. Literally, I'm not joking. The other day I put it on my to-do list, lay in the grass 1 hour. And I know that might be a little pushback to this, but as a creative, I need ideas. And I recently personally discovered that the more I allow myself to be bored, the more things come to me. Even though bored sounds like a dirty word, being bored can be so much fun if you just do it right. If you're being content in your boredom, it's fun. But in that, I just have deliberate downtime, have to schedule it in. Otherwise, I'm just gonna rationalize with myself, like I get task A done and then I could take a break, or I can get a head start on task B and then be a little worker bee. I'm gonna stop and enjoy the honey and do a little bee dance. You know, how they communicate. Oh, maybe not, because I don't need to communicate. I need to cut off communication. Next, I'm gonna be deliberately organized with my time. Guys, I detest, as a type B person, I detest scheduling out my whole day. I find I get stuff done when I give myself the freedom to choose, but as I'm getting older, I realize my method to the madness and the way that things have been working can and could be improved upon. And this is a whole other, topic of like making plans with yourself and sticking to those plans. Like, for example, I wanted to wake up at 6 o'clock today. I woke up at 6 the last 2 days, but for some reason I just could not wake up. So I woke up at 7, and yeah, I lost an hour of time. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm kind of peeved about it because I could have got more stuff done. And I know that sounds like a small thing, but it really is a domino effect. If I want to progress a certain way, I need to do certain things. So, but when I say be deliberately organized with my time, I think I really mean like when I write something down, I'm gonna do it at that time, and I'm not gonna like, rationalize with myself when the day comes, because I have a lot of small projects I want to do and I just keep pushing it aside because I keep pushing my important tasks, like procrastinate, do it, and then I'd have nothing left for this other side of my life that is still very important to me, but it doesn't make me money. So yeah, just whatever's on the calendar, that's what's happening at that time for the rest of this year. Let's try it out. Whatever you're sustaining, try to level up. Maybe you could tell, but I'm using one of my vlog cameras that I have not used in probably 5 years. Just because I want to try something different, I want to really level up my video game. I really like the videos I make on here, but I know they can be better. And the reason why I started doing 2 videos a week was just to prove to myself that I could, because I was afraid of it. I just wanted to prove to myself to not be scared of putting out 1 video a week, so I started putting out 2 videos a week just to like get over this mental block I've made for myself. Maybe that's a masochist way to do things, but that's just how I work, at least with this genre. But now that I proved to myself, I've been doing this for like, what, 2 months already? Putting out 2 videos every week on Sundays and Wednesdays. Now I'm like, okay, we can do this. We need to start making them better, 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 better. More intentional editing, more scripting, more, you know, better video quality. Because you guys deserve it. And also, like, it's just time. There's times to push yourself in different areas in your creation. Now that the consistency is there, now we have to consistently make work that's getting 1 to 2 to hopefully 10 to 50 to 100% better with each video. But if you're one of my followers, hey, let me know how you like this, or, you know, if there's just any suggestions that you see from my videos that you're like, oh, she can level up here. Let me know. I'm not precious about this. I'm literally making this because I think it's fun, and, you know, I make a little coin, but really I make 1 hotel stay a month off of this content at the moment. That's not where it's gonna stay, but just letting you know, like, what pays the bills comes first, and then this stuff. But if this stuff is first, oh, listen, I'll treat you so well. Anyways, next. Number 5, and it's gonna sound so silly because if you're trying to focus, of course you're gonna want to get rid of distractions, but not all distractions are on your phone. Distractions come in the form of like cheap love. I'm thinking like swiping on apps for love. Food noise, at least for me, like I get so distracted because I'm like thinking of food all the time. Now, listen, and that's a whole other can of worms. We're not gonna talk about that right now, but just like talking about this brings it to your mind. Like maybe that's you, maybe it's not. Totally fine. For me, it's amazing how much I distract myself with the thought of food and lunch and dinner. And number 3, online drama that I am not even a part of. And I don't mean celebrities, I mean like interpersonal. Sometimes I get wrapped up in it for no reason, and obviously because I have the time, you know? And all that time trying to be a little spy researcher could have gone to myself. But instead, now I know who got divorced and married within the same year. Now I know who has custody over what kid. Like, these are people I don't even talk to anymore. I just graduated with them, or our paths crossed like once. Why do I have to do that? So yes, the phone's a distraction, but try to find what's your unique distraction, or what's taking up time that you're like, if you cut this out, you would probably get an hour or 2 back. But for me, I'm kind of like over the love thing. Like, very much appreciate everyone who compliments me and says nice things. Hey, but I realized a few years ago, actually I realized in college, that there's love and then there's partnership, and I really want one that's both, and you cannot force that. You just have to like be your own person, build your own garden, and the butterfly comes to you essentially. And whenever I was like wanting to rush that process, like, oh, I want someone now, I want someone to come to me now, I want, you know, this, that, and the other now, I always end up with something that's less than. So after my last romance failed, I realized, or didn't even fail, it just was like, oh, I don't like you. The fantasy is gone. I liked the idea of who you were more than who you are actually. My bad. Second one, food. Once again, controversial but true. If you have like, you know, food sensitivity to talking, skip over this part. I'm just talking about my own personal experience. I don't know if you could tell, but from my first video I uploaded here to now, I look pretty different. And that's all because I became more healthy. And one thing that I didn't know, because I thought it was normal, but it turns out it's not, is that I just had a very loud food noise, and like was always thinking about food because I like cooking and I like good food, which inherently is not a bad thing, but I would give in to that. I would give into the thoughts just to like taste food and enjoy food, because it should be enjoyable. Food is enjoyable, and it is enjoyable. You know what? Just like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you can have too much, and I sure did. Speaking for myself again. Right, I feel like I have to put all these asterisks over everything because I feel like as soon as I don't, someone's gonna be like, well, then it's like, hey, my soapbox, right? Anywho. And I've been bitter about it this year, but I do find myself like slipping back into that now and then. So just being aware of like, is this hunger speaking? Usually not. Or is this my taste buds speaking? That's usually the case. I just realized that this microphone has not been on this whole time. I'm so heartbroken, but I think that audio is pretty good. Anyways, but to round out the food section, I have to say, whenever you get that strong urge that is like a maybe, just ask yourself, who is this from? Is this my hunger speaking? Am I hungry? Am I gonna die if I don't eat? Or is this just, I want to taste it? You'll know. And last, drama. Listen, I know it's really satisfying when you find something out and then like a week or two or a month later it turns out to be true. I get a high off of that. I think I was a detective in another life. But like once I realized how much that took of my time, actually it didn't really take that much of my time. It took a lot of my energy. It was zapping my energy, literally. That valuable brain juice that if you put that towards something that you're working towards, oh my gosh, it would be like a night and day difference. But instead you take a little break and you see how Susan's doing. Bad habit. And I bring this up because recently something like a little bombshell went off in my life and I went down this whole habit again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole day is basically gone, or the time I spent for this task has just all gone to searching and seeing if this person posted something. It sounds silly, but I promise you, like, there's massive tea going on, so to miss it, is they delete it? You know. I feel like there's a lot of people who understand and probably resonate, but I also feel crazy saying it at the same time. But anyways, what worked for me to stop this habit is on your search, there's going to be suggestions. Delete the whole thing. Delete your search history on your social media. That way, whenever you hit the search bar for something that, maybe a taco recipe, maybe like, an outfit someone wore, you forget about that because you see Susan, Tom, and Brady, and you're like, oh, let's check up on them. Oh, stop it! If you have to, block them. I promise you, they won't really know or care. Or like mute them. That's what I had to do. Sometimes people post too much, you want to remain friends, and if it's piquing your curiosity too much to the point where you're losing energy like I was, just mute them, stay friends, you just don't see their posts. And you get your time back. You got one life. I don't want to spend it looking at someone else's. And arguably the most important one, hanging out with friends in real life. It sounds so kindergarten and stupid and like, what's the point, Madison? Everything. That is like what humanness is all about. That's what the human experience is about. That's how it's always been. And only recently, with the suburbs, zoning laws, the rise of just being on your gosh darn phone all the time. I'm guilty, but it sucks. We're so apart, and it could feel okay because we do communicate with each other, through messages, calls, and even FaceTime still count, That's all fine and dandy. But being in person with each other, there's like no medicine that's better for us than relationships. There's this one really popular relationships therapist named Esther Perel, and her tagline is, "The quality of our relationship determines the quality of our lives." I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm all the way right. And it's so true. The quality of our relationships determine the quality of our lives. And I think we can have because it's been proven, like a good relationship with people via the phone, via online technology and messaging, whatever. But what really matters is in person, and please don't forget that. It's going to be so easy to flake on people, so easy to just say, oh, I'll see you next time. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. Stuff happens every day to people, which, oh wow, profound, right? But no, it happens to everyone else. It's always happening somewhere else until it happens to you. And it's like, oh my gosh. Don't wait for something bad to happen before you realize the importance of being in your friends' lives and making an effort to be in their lives, to support them, hang out with them, see their shows, theater, live music, or stand-up. Rest in peace if that's the case, but go support them. If you have more knowledge in the subject and people are asking you for help, yeah, it's gonna feel annoying because we've been so trained to monetize everything, but that's your friend. Just tell them the information. That's what friendship is, huh? So that's my little mini list of things that I'm doing and suggestions for you as well to add to your great lock-in of September through December. And of course I have a little more on my list, but I gotta keep that secret for now. Maybe you'll see it later when it gets finished. Let me know how you guys are locking in for September through December, and you know what? Let's see how this works. I'll do a little recap at the end of December. January 2026? Guys, time keeps on slipping into the future. I don't even want to think about it. I just want to spend time in 2025 and really relish it. Anyways, I'm going to go inside. Ciao.